So, what did you experience this last May?
No, it was in May, Josh. I came down with Bell's palsy. Didn't know exactly what I had at the time, although I had talked to a former neighbor, Kelly Davis, and she had had the same experience a couple of years ago. So she encouraged me or nudged me to get myself to Sutter Hospital because the left side of my face was drooping and it didn't look very pleasing.
Hmm.
So you can see that everything is back in place for the most part. I just have a little bit of an issue over here. So I'm very relieved and grateful that I have good genes because that happened, I believe, May 6th. And by the end of May, I was almost back to my full smile.
Oh, wow.
And that is due to the following. Because I didn't know anything about Bell's palsy, and they confirmed it for me when I went to Sutter Hospital, which is 4 miles away, and I'm grateful for that. And they put me through some tests, and they confirmed, yes, you have Bell's. And we don't really, they didn't say that they didn't know what caused it, but I found that I couldn't get any information about, well, what is this situation. They just, the medical people told me that they were seeing a spike in it. And they
Hmm.
thought that people's immune systems, because of the stress and the pandemic, was causing people to incur Bell's palsy,
Wow.
but a nerve on the right side of the temporal lobe in the front became inflamed somehow, and then with Bell's palsy, your right eye then will not close. That was not very much fun. So I had to wear a patch so I didn't have dry eye. And then, like I say, the left side of my face drooped. So didn't want to look in the mirror too much, but I was hoping that my eye would return to normalcy. So I took the meds,
Hmm.
which consisted of steroids, and drink a lot of water when you take steroids. And then they gave me antiviral because they think it could be a virus. They don't really know for sure. So I took those for about 2 weeks,
Okay.
and I began to immediately, not immediately, but within about a week or so, I started feeling a little bit more uplifting, not much. But I also went to, thank goodness for YouTube, we're on YouTube now, but I went there and there's a plethora of YouTubes showing you all types of exercises to do.
Hmm.
So I flared my nostrils and I did a lot of smiling, I raised my eyebrows and chewed gum. Okay, all the while I'm taking my medications.
Hmm.
We have a wonderful store here called Sunrise Natural Foods over in the Bel Air Shopping Center, run by the Gillespie family. Give them a plug. So I called them up and I told them what was going on, and they advised me to take an anti-spasmodic, I think it's called, because when it's like when you go to the dentist and when that Novocaine wears off, you have that little spazzy feeling. Okay, so that helped with the recovery because the muscles have to regenerate.
Right.
And I also took some vitamin B. Was much better with my nutrition. I drank a lot of fruit juices and drank my water and try to have more salads and say, okay, I'm going to honor my body because I
Hmm.
want you to heal. Ideally, we should do that all the time.
Right.
But that's the great thing about the body. It does, I find, Josh, it wants to heal itself. And so
Hmm.
you must honor it. So I'm just here to share my experience. I do have a family that has strong genes. Mother lived to be in her 90s. Dad was very strong, but he passed early on, but he was very strong. So our family has very strong genes. But you know what? I was told by the lovely doctor that I went to see as a finalization, have him confirm everything for me, which I knew was okay. And Dr. Ogilvy, yes, Ogilvy, very nice man. He said, "Oh, I really have to tell you that your attitude is so important in healing. Of course, we all know that for the most part, but it's good to have that affirmed for you."
Hmm.
And so the experience in the hospital was a bit off-putting because I hadn't been to the hospital for years, and everybody had their masks on, and rightfully so. And
Yeah.
I had my temperature taken several times. But I do want to say thank you to Sutter Hospital. They were wonderful, kind, and warm people. So I'm very fortunate and grateful. So maybe grateful. Gratitude plays into it also because I
Mm.
always try to, embrace my gifts and my lifestyle, which, I have a good neighborhood, etc. So that's my story. Is if that were to ever happen again, because we never know what's going to happen. I don't know what caused it. I would take my meds. I think they helped, definitely. And then I would, you know, take care of myself as far as the nutrition. But now I have a infrared sauna. So I think I may be able to prevent something like that because I was using the infrared sauna at my local club regularly until the pandemic hit us, and then I hadn't used it for 3 months. So I'm hoping that this does not happen again, but I'm also going to be on top of issues with detoxing.
Mm.
Not so much today because it's very hot, but I do believe that heat kills germs. It cooks them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, neighborhood, for being kind to me. People brought me food. I got to find out who my friends are.
Mm.
Thank you, Carol. She brought me some food, and Stephanie and David and those others that were looking out for me. Thank you, Sutter Hospital, and thank you, my parents, Andy and Fran, for giving me these strong genes. And then I'm going to thank myself for having a good attitude, Josh, because that's really what it's all about. We can get up in the morning and we can be crabby, or we can be in between and just not be anything, or we can be grateful and appreciative of the wonders that we have around us. So
Mm-hmm.
let's be grateful. Thank you.